This is the placement of engineer light inside of my apartment while it remains here. It's 8:21 a.m. I'm at 1806 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 6. This is the same building. This is crossing path by the same one you saw yesterday afternoon. His shadows were on both sides of him. Pay attention, he's walking in engineer light. This is pacing on both sides while the entity is stalking by helicopter under a light source that's still here over the same apartment building at after 1 o'clock in the afternoon, where the entity was flying for 46 minutes in a circle. That's Iris Carnero, who's going to federal prison. And that one was from 1806 number 5, monitoring inside of the private space. Their presence in the path in the engineer light is the ongoing surrounding behavioral pattern. For example, as I walked out of my office yesterday afternoon, and Kilsa of 1810 number 1 was on one side of me at her vehicle, and the vehicle, the white SUV, the Volkswagen, was on the opposite side while LAPD was flying over in helicopter, and the light source was over my head, by the way, at the same property. Okay, that was well into the afternoon. That is the pattern of conduct, and they're literally walking under the light source and in engineer light, not sunlight, not the sun, while they're monitoring inside of the private space. Okay, it's currently, again, 8:22 a.m., and this is not sunlight that's inside of my apartment while Iris Carnero and the male that's from 1806 number 5 are crossing path while the entity is sounding helicopter activity inside of the apartment. That's the monitoring conduct. That's the psychological torture behavioral pattern. This is what these demons engage in, and that's serving for what is federal prison. They systematically engage in targeting someone. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to converse with them. They don't have to physically be in the building with you. They are constructively present through the light activity and through the maintenance of that specific environment, where through this window, the light source is supposedly rising, and through my bedroom window, it is setting, and over through my bedroom window, you also see the moon, like you saw last night while LAPD was stalking in helicopter. That was the pattern of conduct, and the demon possessed that were surrounding physically on the sidewalk in engineer light. Shadow was appearing on both sides of him while he was walking in this direction. Another third party, which is not coincidentally on this side, while also I'm in operation of my communication device. I also want to go ahead and point out the fact that while the entity is maintaining this light activity, it's just in the afternoon, it's just seeing, you're just going to see it on the ceiling. That's what you saw yesterday when I walked out and LAPD was flying in a circle right here in alignment to me while that light activity was on the ceiling. This has nothing to do with sunlight. That's why Iris Carnero is identified. You know exactly what she is. She's a demon. She's in custody of minor children who she has also made group stalkers, which are also sex offenders engaging in terrorism with the state, and that's why they're going to be removed from her custody. She's also she's an impenitent, a demon-possessed group stalker who is acting with impunity while she is still not only living at the crime scene, but actively engaging in that criminal activity, and which you are doing so by living at the crime scene. That's why the entity engages in it in this manner, because it's a malicious system that's supposed to occur, and the outward veneer is that, but it doesn't happen when the entity is stalking with helicopters and flying in circles, following you around and flying in circles everywhere, and the sun is rising and setting and the moon is over you. None of that is normal. That removes that false illusion of normalcy altogether, but that's the malice of the demon-possessed who intend to psychologically harm the targeted individual. You go to federal prison for that, systematically engaging in that, okay? That was Iris Carnero. She's a violent sex offender. Her children are going to be removed from her custody. She's also going to be subject to, which is what is necessary when you're understanding the criminal intent to harm somebody in the ways in which I've revealed the pattern of conduct is designed to. This is impossible light that remains when I walk up in the morning. You're looking at the same light activity, and the entity suggests that the sun would still be here. That's not the sun. As I'm showing you the environment in a totally different location. At Emporia, there's no sun that's going to be outside of my window. There's also no sunlight that's going to appear in this manner through closed blinds. This is magnification. There's also no sunlight that's going to occur and remain for hours later, and then somehow jump to the ceiling, okay? That's nothing other than cycling engineer light. That's what's covering all the property. All the people of the state are surrounded in the evidence, and they're going to be prosecuted as what are criminals engaging in state surveillance, as you understand how that demonic system works and how a government engages in it and employs it in concert with the people. It is currently 8:25 a.m. This is P.O.C. That is evidence of the sex offense. They're monitoring me, knowing exactly when I'm stepping out. This is an iteration of what Access LA engaged in yesterday, knowing exactly when I'm walking out, maintaining that specific environment audibly, and doing so while the lit environment is present, okay? This is an all manner of surrounding by a demon-possessed population, not just stalkers, but demon-possessed ones who know what you're doing inaudibly, placing you under heavy surveillance, okay? Understand that demonic feature of this criminal system, and that's gonna be prosecuted as terrorism. And I provided the evidence of the fact that you do have that demon possession. When you're witnessing the sun rising and setting at the same address, you're witnessing demon possession. You're witnessing the supernatural. So therefore, it is not unreasonable to continue with me and follow what the evidence shows. The entity engages in demonic behavior with simultaneity to what the target individual does. Even when they are physically in the room and your apartment by yourself, demons know what you're doing. That's why they're in such a supernatural environment. So I just want to be clear. Nothing that I have shown you, which you are witnessing with your own eyes, is far-fetched or is unsubstantiated. Okay? That is the P.O.C. It is currently 8:26 a.m. Let me document while I'm on video. Monitoring inside of the private space also is Maria Solis. That's at 8:25 while she's monitoring the light source. They use the communication devices to send what are text messages. Regardless of the work hours, the entities engage in the pattern of conduct 24/7, and that's why Todd Speaker and Speaker Companies is going to be subject to prosecution. She is monitoring using the communication device while she is a part of the same demon-possessed entity, engaging in state surveillance while the entity was monitoring. By the way, while I was at Doherty Park Apartments, the facilitating venue was there while I was there. And I want to be clear, she's monitoring right now a sex offender monitoring inside of the private space with malice, okay, while she is engaging in sending a text message. That's P.O.C. All right, so I want to make sure I document, and I'll put a screenshot to that. She's going to federal prison also because not only of the impermissible threat that she poses, but also systematically acting with the state as an employee of a third-party company, systematically assisting that government that flew for 47 minutes in alignment, terrorizing, threatening your life in doing so. That's why she's going to federal prison along with Carla Lopez and the people of Speaker Companies. They're third parties, and they're going to federal prison. It is currently 8:27 a.m. This is P.O.C. That's Jung Pak of 1808 number 1, engaging in the pattern of conduct, which is crossing path under a light source that remains here 11 hours from now. P.O.C.